Hello, in this video we're going to take a look at an example of a word problem involving a compound inequality. So let's take a look here. Cindy has scores of 72, 82, 83, and 89 on her algebra tests. Use a compound inequality to find the range of scores she can make on her final exam to receive a C in the course. The final exam counts as 2 tests. We'll try to underline that. And a C is received if the final course average is from 73 to a 76. So I know my overall score has to be somewhere between a 73, inclusive, meaning 73 will get me that score, but it's got to be less than or equal to 76. Once again, inclusive, because a 76 would earn me the score of a C. So now the question is, what goes in here? What would allow me to get something between these scores for the class? So if I'm figuring out my grade for a class, then I'm taking the average of my scores. So in order to find the average of my scores, I need to add them all together and divide by how many scores there are. So for this particular example, we have 72 for our first test, and then an 82 for our second test, and then an 83, and an 89. Now, all we have left is the final, but this part right here is important. The final exam counts as 2 tests. So we don't know what that score is yet, so right now I'm going to put plus x, but since it counts as 2 tests, I'm going to put plus x again. And then to find the average, we're going to divide that all by the number of tests, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overall tests that we're dividing that by. So now we need to work inside there to simplify. So we have 72 plus 82 plus 83 plus 89. That combines to get us 326. And then combine those x's, we get plus 2x all over 6. And this has to be greater than or equal to 73, but less than or equal to 76. So now in solving this compound inequality, we are going to need to split this up into 2 simple inequalities. So we'll have 73, So we'll have 73 less than or equal to 326 plus 2x, and that's over 6. And over here we'll have 326 plus 2x over 6 is less than or equal to 76. So now in order to solve this in this one simple inequality over here, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that 6. So we're going to multiply both sides of this inequality times 6. So our 73 times 6 gets us 438, which is less than or equal to 326 plus 2x, because these canceled out. And then we can take that 438 and we will subtract 326 from both sides. And we're left with 112. Oops, let me try to scroll down here. So subtract 326. Subtract 326. We're left with 112, which is less than or equal to 2x. And then divide both sides by 2. And we're left with x is greater, we're left with 56 less than or equal to x, which means x has to be greater than or equal to 56. On this side, same steps, we're going to multiply both sides times 6. So we get 76 times 6 with 456. My 6's cancel out over here, so now we have 326 plus 2x. We'll subtract the 326 part from both sides. So it leaves us with 2x is less than or equal to 130. And then divide both sides by 2. X is going to be less than or equal to 65. So in order to earn a C in the class, we're going to bring this back together here. I'll change colors. In order to earn a C in the class, x has to be greater than or equal to 56, but less than or equal to, and less than or equal to 65. So somewhere in there is what she would have to score in order to get a C in the class. Now, to put that on a number line, we'll start here. Let's go 55, 57, 59, 61, 63, 65. So to put this on a number line, we would have a closed circle at 56, shaded to the right, and a closed circle at 65, shaded left. And they would meet each other. So everything shaded in between here would be our solution region.